Hi, I'm Richard Ellis, the founder of Wealth Estate, and today we're going to have a look at prospective investors' comments and questions and dive right in to see what they're saying. I'm currently learning about investing in stocks and other asset classes, including REITs. I would like to learn more about property as a business and as an investment, as this is one of my retire early strategies. So any books and YouTube channels from credible content creators in this would be amazing. Okay, so there's a couple of things here, and probably the largest thing is information gathering from different places like YouTube, like Google, like books is absolutely fantastic. You need to invest in yourself. However, all of that information is never going to be specific to your personal circumstances. So what you're going to end up having is lots of conflict in information, and you're not going to understand which way to turn with all of this. Or you might take a route that somebody else is saying is amazing, but that's not going to work for you. So the best thing to do is absolutely invest in yourself, but also invest in a consultant or somebody that can support you, that's already been there, that's already done this and has already been successful, so that they can help you navigate that path using the information that you've learned, but also leveraging from their experience and real life experience. So my girlfriend started building and selling homes in 2020 with 300,000 in cash. Her first home cost 236,000 to build and sold for 296. Her second home built for 250,000 and is now listed at 290,000. She is considering shifting strategies. Should she continue flipping or move to a buy, refurbish, refinance BRRR strategy for more passive income? Okay, it kind of depends on what your personal circumstances are and what your goals are, because if cash flow is your goal, then absolutely buy, refurbish, refinance and holding on to that property is going to generate you a cash flow. But it depends on how much cash flow you actually want, how many properties you do, and then what type of strategies that you deploy, because each strategy gives you a different type of revenue. And if your goal is to get to £3,000 a month pure cash flow and you're only achieving 1,000 with say 3 properties of single let buy to lets that are giving you £300 each per month, then that's not going to get you to your goal. So it really does depend on that. The other thing to bear in mind, of course, is that buying and selling properties, flipping properties, developing properties is a very, very slow way to create cash flow, because you're always on the financial back foot. You buy a property, takes 2 months to get it through legals, maybe 3. You add value to it 2 or 3 months, and then you put the property up for sale, and then you get a buyer, and then of course another 2 or 3 months through legals. You could easily waste a year of investing in property, and great, you get a chunk of money at the end of that process, but you're on the financial back foot until that process concludes. So buy, refurbish, refinance is a great way of creating cash flow for you, but it really depends on what the goals are. So yeah.
From obviously we're in 2024 now, leading up to 2028, they are predicting to see a 21.6% increase in property prices. That is a average across the whole of the UK. So that will consist of the north, the south, the Midlands, across the board there. So definitely something that is a real positive. I think to any investor looking at the market, no matter where you're looking location wise, I think that is a massive positive to see that hopefully they should see some capital growth gains.
Yeah, I mean, that's great and very positive for the industry if we are going to see those kind of gains. The comment, I guess, on regardless of where they're investing is a bit misleading from that point of view, because obviously different areas of the UK are going to see different growth levels, and you as sophisticated investors need to definitely use data-driven analytical tools to figure out where those areas are. And the way that we would do that really is to only invest in the high growth areas, identify where the low ones are, and then that's averaging out. He says they're at 21%, so let's go for the 30, the 35% areas, because if we inadvertently go for a 10% area, then our average isn't actually 21, so let's go for those high ones. Positive, great, but let's get the better ones. Okay, so was browsing on a property website and found a listing for a parcel of freehold land comprising of a roadway for £5,000. The road is in the middle of a built-up suburb with housing either side. Seems like there is nothing one can do with this piece of land. Start charging parking fees to residents or something. Through the UK Land Registry, I can see that the most recent sale was in 2011 for 46,650. Absolutely baffling to me. Now, the only thing I can assume here is that a developer or a buyer has bought this property, this piece of land for £46,000 as a bit of a ransom strip, probably the access to another piece of land where they can ransom the value of that to the adjoining landowner. So basically, you can't cross my road unless you pay me a significant amount of money to get to your development that's over here, that you can't develop unless you buy my piece of land. They're probably taking a punt on this at that point in 2011, saw some opportunity to use it as a ransom strip, and are now looking to sell this off. Probably it's going for £5,000 at an auction, I would have thought. So it would probably go for significantly more than £5,000. And if there is a development opportunity either side of this piece of land, then whoever the prospective buyer is, strategically, would probably be able to benefit from an uplift in the value of that land at some point in the future. But if nobody's intending to develop the land around this ransom strip, currently they could be sitting on it for a long period of time until they're able to realise that value, possibly. So I can see lots of people out there investing in property and saying that they're achieving more than 7%, 10, 15%. How can I achieve those same figures? Well, that really depends on the type of strategy that you're investing into. So if we're choosing a low return strategy, like just single let properties where we're parking cash in property and benefiting from the return on investment, then that return on investment, that cash flow is going to be very small. So therefore the return on capital employed into that is going to be small as well, more than likely somewhere between 5 and 7%. If you're going to use a better strategy for cash flow, something like HMO or maybe service accommodation, furnished holiday lets, then that's where you're going to increase the amount of cash that you're receiving for the same type of property. But then also if you implemented a buy, refurbish, refinance strategy to get to the furnished holiday let or the HMO, what you're actually doing is refinancing more of your money back out, which means that you're leaving less of your cash in, so you've got a lower amount of cash and a higher amount of revenue, which means that the return on investment is greater for the amount of capital that you've got deployed in that asset. Hope that helps. So if anybody has any similar questions on single let buy-to-lets, HMOs, commercial, any kind of residential development land, just fire them over to us and next time we'll read them out and answer your questions for you.